Okay. We're gonna do a little recap here. I'm sorry there are fireworks in the background. It is now officially the 4th of July. There's a Facebook page I follow called Reclaim MSU. Now, if you remember last year and the year before that on this channel, I talked in depth about the so-called gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar, who is now serving generations of time in prison for multiple acts of sexual misconduct of minors. He was an MSU doctor and he mostly worked with gymnasts, but because he was their resident doctor there, they sent every athlete to him. And he was fondling their vaginas, doing a pelvic exam, but okay. And he even entertained high school girls that were sent to him in his university office. And he also worked a second job for USA Gymnastics, where he would follow USA Gymnastics all over the country, all over the world, Olympics. He was at every Olympic event for God knows how many years. He was on the floor then at Magnificent 7-1. Okay, and he was also abusing Olympic gymnasts and world gymnasts. He abused entire teams. Okay, it's horrible. Well, during the course of his time at MSU, there were many professors, administrators, coaches, okay, everybody that they knew something was wrong. Girls went to them and complained or this or that, but there were people that were being reported. And they were refusing their mandated report. Your obligation as a mandated reporter is if a person tells you they are being sexually abused, you must report that to your doc. There's a list of 1 million people that are mandated reporters. And a lot of the coaches, administrators, whatever the hell, would tell the girls, you want to lose your scholarship? You want to ruin your career? Are you sure this really happened? And some girls even told the flat out, shut the fuck up. There was an incident where he was told to go before a review board. And he was allowed to pick his own review board. And he picked 4 of his own friends, and they investigated him, and they couldn't find anything wrong with him. There was a psychiatrist who was told he was abusing a girl, and your psychiatrist has confidentiality with you. But if you are the victim of a crime, sexual abuse, the psychiatrist must report it. Did not. And the Reclaim MSU Facebook page is basically to hold MSU accountable for their failure to report and for their willful covering up and all that other bullshit. And I personally have called for the university to be closed. I have. I've called for them to stop admitting students, allow the students to graduate that are there now, and once they're filtered out, close the school entirely. That's how bad the scandal got. Well, the other day, Reclaim MSU talked about another case of alleged sexual misconduct, unrelated to Larry Nassar. And I was commenting, and a couple people were commenting behind me about, Vince, you're totally wrong. That's a myth. Okay. One woman said, well, gee, one woman even said, I said we have to educate college students on how to behave and how not to behave. So yeah, give them a class on the anatomy. Okay, first and foremost, the students that wrote this article admitted in the article they posted, we stand by the survivor. That's how they put it. And I said, you're talking about a lynch mob here. I said, Larry Nassar has got you forming lynch mobs now. And I defended myself by saying that no less than 3 Nassar victims support Christine Blasey Ford. And I gave a specific example of Rachel Denhollander, the number 1 witness against Larry Nassar, who corroborated the other witnesses, other victims. She accepted an award from Christine Blasey Ford after Blasey Ford was caught lying. And I made a video about that. She has lost my support. I no longer support her, period. And me being the sensible one, I have to get into the details and I have to know facts, and okay, I'm not allowed to be prejudiced. I just got done reading the full article, read it a second time, how you get the gist of it. In 2018, a girl had graduated, and on the way out, she filed a complaint against 3 basketball players who were a couple of classes ahead of her. And the report ended up being what they call a Title IX investigation. A Title IX investigation means the college is doing an investigation into misconduct. And misconduct could be against a professor, against a staff member, or against a classmate, student. And misconduct could be for, if a professor calls a racial slur. Okay. If a student is caught stealing from campus. Okay. If a student is caught on campus with drugs. Okay. Title IX report investigations mean that someone, student or professor or some staff member, was on the college or at a college activity and they engaged in misconduct, cheating, plagiarism, okay? And the college weeds out punishments. Those punishments could be making you take class again. Those punishments could be expulsion. And if the college comes across evidence of criminal activity, they are required to tell the police. That's the way it goes. And the Title IX report was filed last May as this girl graduated, but it was just concluded recently because it takes months, even a year, interviewing witnesses. Okay, it's not an overnight thing. Okay? What happened was 3 years earlier, 2015, okay, the girl was at a bar with a fake ID. And she got very drunk. And she allegedly went back to an apartment with 3 basketball players. And 2 of these basketball players admitted to having consensual intercourse with her. Okay? Now, let's be realistic about that. Underage girl, fake ID, drinking too much, going back to an apartment with 3 men that she barely knows, if she knows them at all. She might have just met them that night. And you and I are seeing the red flags, oh shit, don't do that, okay? Now, this is what we call victim precipitation, which means the victim did something to make themselves extremely vulnerable to a crime. That could be if you park your car and you leave the keys in the car and leave the engine running. And I've seen this in my location at work. And you go in the store and your car gets stolen. Well, you left the key in the ignition, left the door unlocked, went in the store. That's called victim precipitation, which means the victim left an opening for the crime to happen. Okay, you're drunk. You're going back to an apartment with 3 men you barely know if you know them at all. You are leaving yourself open to a problem. That could be an assault. That could be a robbery. That could be a rape. Okay? That could be, you could fall asleep drunk and they could take your credit card and go online and buy your credit card. Okay? You're leaving yourself vulnerable to have things happen to you that are bad. Now, two of the suspects, first and foremost, this woman never went to the police, period. She did not go to the police. And police, prosecutor, judge, those 3 people are the only 3 people that can actually affect an arrest, incarceration, trial, okay? They can do that, only them, Okay? The college can only do expulsion. Okay? The college can't put you in jail. Okay? If you are the victim of a sexual assault, you must do two things. First and foremost, you must tell the police now. Maybe embarrassing. I'm not going to lie and say that being raped is not embarrassing, because it is. But understand this. I have never in my life seen an incident. And they said she didn't want to call the police because she was out with the fake ID, which is against the law. I've never in my life seen an incident where a rape victim was prosecuted for having a fake ID. I've never in my life seen that. Okay? If a prosecutor indicted a rape victim for having a fake ID, assuming that prosecutor, because the prosecutors, the DAs, they have to run for re-election. You have the DA, who is the boss. He runs for elected office, and he hires subordinate prosecutors. The DA, the boss, would fire that prosecutor in 2 seconds for indicting a rape victim having a fake ID, period. If he or she did not fire that prosecutor, the people would recall the DA, put a new DA in, and fire the entire office. Okay? The last thing you do is prosecute a rape victim for having a fake ID. You don't do that, period. Okay? So if she's talking about being prosecuted for having a fake ID, she's over exaggerating. The second thing you must do when you are the victim of sexual assault is you must go to the hospital. Because the hospital can do what they call a rape kit. And you can request a female doctor. It may take a while, but you can request a female doctor, or a female nurse, or a female physician assistant. Okay? And they need to take things from your body. Okay? They have swabs, they have vaginal stuff, okay? And they will examine your body physically, and they will gather evidence, and that evidence will be given to the police immediately for forensic science, stuff like that. Okay, court, okay, integrity of evidence, chain of command, okay, shit like that, chain of evidence. Because a lot of times rape victims have things on their body. Now, obviously, depending on what's going on, you may have the person's body on you, their fingerprints on you, their DNA on you, their blood on you, okay? And that will prove that they touched you. Now, other things that will prove that their touching was forced, maybe if the vagina is bruised to the point where it penetrated you very, very hard, which would be a strong indicator that you were attacked against your will. Other things they look at are a bite mark on the suspect's arm with your teeth, or your blood in their mouth when you bit them. A lot of women clawed the scalp, and the hair is under their fingernails. Okay? They look for things like that, and they gather that evidence to protect it for integrity. Okay? By not telling the police, you do two things. First and foremost, you make criminal prosecution impossible. Impossible. The police must get involved. You cannot have a prosecution without police, DA, and judge involvement. It must happen. Okay? Second, you cast serious doubt on your allegation. Okay? Serious doubt. The most serious doubt in the world by not going to the police. And third, if you are indeed a victim and you don't report it to the police, the suspect will strike again. Make no mistake about that. And that's what happens. Now, one of the alleged rapists was misidentified. That means that he, on the night of the alleged rape, was somewhere else, and he has an absolute 100%, no questions asked, rock solid alibi. So the fact that she misidentifies him means she is not a credible witness at all, period. Okay? The 3 years later factor means that she has washed her body, they have washed their bodies, there is no longer physical evidence. Clothing. Assuming the clothing still exists, has been thrown out, okay? It has been washed, evidence is gone. If she resisted the rape, if she was hitting them, punching them, clawing at them, biting them, the bruises are gone. There is physically, literally no evidence of a crime, period. Period. Okay? So the college dismissed the allegation. And colleges do have the power to repeal your degree years later. It's a little hard though, but they could. And the college would not take any action against the men, but they also did not take action against her. They wrote it off as no evidence. We can't prove it one way or the other. And like, well, this is wrong. We believe the survivor. Okay, we believe her. And this is more of the bullshit of the hashtag #MeToo and / Larry Nassar scandal. Okay, the victim is automatically truthful. The suspect is automatically guilty. There is no innocence. Okay, you have to look at it from the perspective of this is America and we have rights. And one of those rights we have is the right to be presumed innocent until otherwise proven. The other thing we have to understand is there are red flags everywhere. She was drunk, which means she probably was unable to understand what was going on, make rational choices, like going to apartments and shit, identifying properly, okay, which leads us to she misidentified one guy, which leads us to no police involvement, no physical evidence, which leads us to 3 years later. Okay, and there I have seen more allegations, false allegations, than actual rapes. Case in point, I have said openly, proudly, and publicly, I am the victim of a false sexual harassment complaint. And it is now 19 years later, I have more than doubled in age. And I still live with it. To this day, I still have problems. If I have a discussion, that could be the most mundane discussion in the world, and I will say to myself, is that person going to misinterpret what I said and file a complaint against me? To this day, I have a hard time being alone with people unless I know them. To this day, I don't trust women. And it has caused relationship problems. And what happened to me was I had a false allegation made about me, sexual harassment, thank God, not rape. And what happened was a year earlier, I had an argument with a coworker. I was 17, she was 19. We had an argument. After the argument, end of the day, before we left for home, I sat down with her and we shook hands. I said, let's be friends again. Let's forget about this shit, okay? Okay, I was 17, she was 19, and we just had an argument. Was I wrong? Probably. I was being a pain in the ass. Maybe I was wrong. I'll admit that. She said, let's never discuss it ever again. Fast forward to 2 weeks later, we're taking pictures. It's the end of the camp season. We were camp counselors. It's the end of the camp season. And this is back in the old day when I had to take a picture with the film, have it developed, mail the pictures in this because we had no texting. Okay, this is way back in the day. She gave me her home address so I could mail her some pictures, which I did. A year to the day later, almost a year to the day later, of the argument, She files a complaint against me. And I have no idea who made the complaint. Who remembers Classmates.com? Classmates.com predated MySpace, going back a long way. And it was a place where you go to your schools or your employment or even military and you register yourself. And you can go there and find your classmates and find out and organize unions and stuff like that. This is before Facebook, before YouTube, before Instagram, before all that shit. Before all that shit. And I went on there for my high school, but I also found my old coworkers on there. And I would ask them, did you see anything? Did you hear anything? Did you know anything? And when I found her, she admitted it. But she didn't admit it and say, oh my God, I'm so sorry, Vinny. She first and foremost said that I had found her address without her permission, which was a lie. And she used the argument we had as justification for the complaint. She also accused me of threatening a child, which is not true at all. She actually said that she found I threatened a child, which I did not. Someone told her I threatened the child, so she complained about me. Okay? Total bullshit. Total bullshit. So there are women in this world that get vindictive. Okay? There are men as well that get vindictive. Well, I'm not gonna lie, but there are women that get vindictive. And what those women realize now is that the odds of them being prosecuted for a false allegation is less than 5%. I've seen like one woman who made a false rape allegation go to prison, where she belongs, by the way. Okay? There was one woman who made a false allegation, and the DA said, I can't prosecute her because it will discourage truthful women from coming forward. Okay? So women are realizing that they now can make allegations with impunity. They now realize there's an entire support system for them that will believe them blindly. They now realize that even after they've been caught lying, they will still be asked to give awards out. Christine Blasey Ford gave Rachel Denhollander an award for courage after she was caught lying. And I told Rachel Denhollander, in no uncertain terms, you must give back the award. And she refused. And I said, okay, I'm done with you, honey. I'm no longer going to support you. And if I saw Rachel Denhollander walking on the road today, walking on the street today, I'd walk right past her. And I was supposed to go and meet Rachel Denhollander and her husband at the UN, but I had to go on duty. And now I realize I'm glad I didn't go meet her. Okay? Imagine an entire support system that will support you after you were caught lying. Imagine making sworn testimony in a federal system, being caught lying and not facing any penalties. Imagine idiots that will just hand you money on GoFundMe or whatever the fuck they have at Patreon, whatever the fuck it is. Okay? Imagine that. Remember Mattress Girl? There was a girl who walked around campus with a mattress to raise awareness for sexual assault. She lied. And some of these men get a lawyer and go after the family in civil court and sue for millions, which they should. But how often does that happen? And depending on what happens to you, the sexual harassment complaint, the sexual assault complaint, rape complaint, okay, you can be fired from a job. You can be kicked out of a school. Okay, you can be prosecuted, you can be thrown in jail. And the lawyer, when you go to court for a rape, the lawyer has a $100,000 price tag minimum. $100,000. And you have parents that have to fucking put their house up for sale and move into a fucking apartment or sell family heirlooms, sell jewelry, okay, take out loans, okay, cash in stocks and bonds, cash in their pension plan to raise money to keep their kid out of prison, okay, and the accuser gets to ride. The DA is funded by the taxpayer, so the accuser comes in with taxpayer funding with the DA, and you have to come with your own lawyer. And if you're indigent and you can't afford your own lawyer, and the court has to give you a lawyer, you're stuck with whatever the court asks. Okay? And I've heard people say, well, this is a myth. It's not a fucking myth. Fuck you. Okay? I know what I'm talking about. I've been there. Okay? Remember my uncle, that's my marriage, that survived 9/11? Okay? His son's friend was one of the Duke lacrosse guys. My aunt was telling me that kid is fucked up beyond belief now. He came this close to going to prison for 20 years. Okay? And imagine if the conviction happens. You gotta go to prison for 2 decades of your life. And when you get out, you gotta be on a list forever. Unless the conviction is overturned. Okay? People make mistaken identities. They've had women that were raped legitimately, and they made a mistaken identity, and the guy went to jail. They've had women that had consensual relationship with a guy, and they broke up with the guy, or it was a one-night stand, and then they saw the guy with the woman they don't like a month later, and they made an allegation. There were guys that never even put their hands on a girl. Next thing you know, the girl's in court pointing fingers at them saying rape. Okay? The rape allegation has been used as a weapon against men. And it's gotten so out of hand that a man is more likely to be the victim of an accused rape than the woman is likely to be the victim of an actual rape. Okay? And I'm sorry that a couple people in this college are upset that there wasn't any action taken. There was action taken. The fucking college spent a year investigating it. And because they couldn't prove it, they couldn't take any action further. Now, granted, I am not defending MSU on a lot of things. I think MSU should be shut down for the Larry Nassar scandal. There were guys at MSU who were forced to retire with six-figure pensions because of the Larry Nassar scandal. Now, I don't think any of the guys who protected Larry Nassar were involved in this investigation. I don't think that at all. So I've entirely new guys that were doing the investigation. The guys that protected Larry Nassar, they're either fired, resigned, retired, moved away, went into hiding. Okay? But these guys that came in, investigated this allegation, and they couldn't take it further. What the fuck are they gonna do? Okay? One guy was misidentified. He had a rock-solid alibi. So the third guy is someone else. They're going to revoke his diploma, his degree rather. Other 2 guys said it was consensual. We'll get to that in a minute. What are they going to do? Throw him out of school? Take back the degree? Okay? Imagine if you went to court with this now. Imagine if the college said, yeah. First of all, it happens off campus. Therefore, it's not the college's problem. It's the police's problem. But imagine if a college went to the police or the DA or the judge and said, listen, 4 years ago, a woman came to us last year and told us that 3 years earlier, she was raped by 3 men. She misidentified 1 man. Other 2 men said it was consensual. There's no evidence. Okay? The DA will probably laugh their ass off because it's an unprovable case. You can't prove it. Did it happen? I don't know. Maybe it did. Maybe the guys did rape her and she was just mistaken on 1 guy. I don't know. But the fact that 1 guy is mistaken and other 2 guys claim consensual, the default setting is not guilty. Period. That is how America works, my friends. You don't like it, go somewhere else. Okay? There are countries in this world that you are put on trial and you prove your innocence. Okay? Go to one of those countries. There are countries in this world, you go to them and they kill you without trial. Go to one of those countries. Now, I said in this article I was talking about, maybe the colleges should start having some awareness classes. And some idiot woman was like, yeah, well, awareness about what the body, what the human body is, or just some stupid shit answer that some fucking dopey bitch made. Okay? Here's the issue. Maybe women should take a self-defense. Men should too, but maybe you should try taking a self-defense class. Learn to fight back, learn to scream, learn to kick, learn to punch, learn to bite, okay? Learn to carry pepper spray. Learn to carry fixed blade knives, okay? Excuse me. Okay? Because I took a victimology class in 2009, I'm sorry. And we learned what victims are and how to prevent victimization. Okay? The woman who knows how to protect herself, okay? The woman who carries pepper spray or carries a fixed blade knife, or depending on what age you are, carries a gun, okay? The woman who is aware of her surroundings, the woman who watches the doors, the windows, watches who comes in and out, the woman who protects her drink to make sure no one puts anything in it, like a Mickey, the woman who notices predatory behavior, the woman that does not go back to the fucking apartment with 3 guys she doesn't know, that woman doesn't get raped. Okay? Predatory men look for weak women. They look for drunk bitches. I'm gonna give you an example. Back in the MySpace days, it was 2007. A girl I went to high school with was doing the MySpace survey. You fill out the survey and you post it, and it comes on the message board for a couple days, and then all your friends get to read it. She posted the drunk survey. Have you done, and every single thing was yes. Have you gotten drunk to the point you blacked out? Yes. Have you gotten drunk to the point where you puked in someone's car? Yes. I'm sorry, whatever her name was, LOL. Have you ever gotten drunk and slept with more than 2 people, with more than one person in the same night? Yes. And I said to her, honey, you have a problem. You need to talk to somebody. I said, you need to talk to somebody right now. Because 2007, if you remember, was the year of the missing white girl. All girls in 2007 that went missing had blonde hair, blue eyes, like my friend did, and were last seen shit-faced drunk. And ended up getting raped, then being found in dumpsters, okay? And I told my friend, you will be raped or murdered if you don't knock this shit off right now. You need help right away, okay? Getting drunk and fucking 2 guys in the same night is not healthy. Because where's the birth control pill? Where's the condom? Syphilis, hepatitis, AIDS, okay? Not to mention rape and murder. Okay, Ted Bundy. A lot of guys don't know this, but there are at least a dozen, if not 2 dozen women who, when Ted Bundy said, let's go down the back alley, they felt uncomfortable. When Ted Bundy said, can you reach into the car and help move the seat back, they felt uncomfortable. Some women did interact with Ted Bundy, and they did not go to step B, and they ran away. They're still alive. They're still alive because they had a bad feeling, and they said, no, I'm not going to help you with that. I'm sorry your arm is broken, but I'm not going to help move your seat back, or I'm not going to go in your trunk for you, or I'm not going to walk you to the door of the dark alley. Okay? They're still alive. Okay? You need to be aware of your situation. Always. Men too. I talk about this with mass shootings. Well, we have mass shootings, but we also have rapes and murders. Just individual murders. Okay? Awareness. Now, also, if you're aware, you can call security or call the police when someone else gets a Mickey in their drink. If you see some drunk bitch just shit-faced drunk out of a fucking gourd, you can approach her and say, honey, don't go with these men. You're drunk, don't go with these men. Get away from them. You can talk her out of it. Okay? Self-defense classes. Learn to fight, if need be. But the best self-defense is avoiding entirely. Learn where the door is. Learn how to get out of the door. Okay? Learn how to not go into a dark alley, or if I go out that door, what do I go to? If I run out that door, am I going to go to a dark alley? If I run out that door, am I going to go to the well-lit city street with 1,000 people on it? Okay? And don't fuck around with guys you don't know. Don't go back to their apartment. If 3 guys you've never met before say, come back to my apartment, or come back to our apartment, you say fucking no. If it's your boyfriend that you've known for a very long time, if it's your cousin, okay, if it's a guy, a friend that you've known since 3rd grade, fine. But when 3 guys you barely know say, come back to my apartment, you say fucking no. Okay? And dudes, okay, you also have a problem. Okay? Don't involve yourself with drunk girls. Don't. I'll give you an example. There's a story. I don't know if it's an urban myth or if it's an actual case. But there was a guy who said once, there was a girl drunk in my bed. My friends call me a faggot for not sleeping with her. I'd rather be a faggot than a rapist. Okay? If she's drunk and you're fucking her, okay, a lot of people are gonna perceive that as rape. Even if she was like this. Yeah, sure. Do you wanna? Okay, fine. She might not know what she's saying yes to. So most people might say, yeah, I consider that rape. And you better pray to Christ, those people aren't 12 guys on a jury box. You're gonna be fucked for life, okay? So when the girl's drunk, don't touch her. Leave her alone. If your friends call you a faggot, say fine. I'd rather be a faggot at home tonight with my hand than be a faggot next year in the prison shower. Okay? Do yourself that favor. Don't touch the girl drunk. Also, we have 50 states, 50 different laws. How do you know? Think about this for a minute, my friends. What if your home state, the penal code, says that a woman, that anyone who is 0.08 cannot consent? 0.08 means you can't drive a car. But what if your penal code says 0.08 means you can't give consent? That means that if she's drunk and she says, yes, we'll sleep, I'll give you a blowjob, yes, I'll do that for you. If your state penal code says she can't give consent, it's rape automatically. I don't know what your penal code says, but I'm just saying that. Or another thing, she's in the bar with fake ID. Is she 18 or 17? Okay? If she is 1 minute below the legal age, it doesn't matter if she gave you a fucking contract. You're a rapist automatically. Okay? This entire situation could have been avoided. First and foremost, is the woman mistaken? No, she's mistaken about one guy. Is the woman mistaken? Or is the woman lying? Did she give consent and just forget about it when she sobered up? She waited 3 years. Here's the issue. I don't know if this woman is lying. Okay? Normally the guy like, no, I didn't touch that bitch. Fuck her. Okay? But if the guy says, yes, I did, it was consensual, maybe they're telling the truth. I don't know. They admitted to being in the apartment. 2 guys did. They admitted to sleeping with her. 2 guys did. 1 guy had the rock solid alibi. Maybe they're telling the truth. The issue is, what happened here was perfect for the setting. They did an investigation. They couldn't prove it. They washed it. I would much rather have that than have these 2 guys at least go to prison for 20 years, get out of prison, and then we find that she lied. Okay? Women are vindictive. True. Not all of them, but some of them are. Women can be vindictive. And they will use false allegations to punish you. Christine Blasey Ford filed a false sexual assault claim against a man that to this day she has not met. and she was paid a lot of money to do it, and she faces no penalties. As of this moment right now, she has not been given a parking ticket for her problem, for what she did to that man. Not a parking ticket. That's the truth. Men are predatory. They are. Men like rape. They do. The man that wants to rape you, he's gonna look for the drunk girl that is not paying attention to what she's doing. He's gonna look for the girl who has just blacked the fuck out. Okay? You want to drink? Have one drink, and don't use fake ID. Okay? It's against the law. I'm a peace officer. Don't use fake ID. But you want to drink? Drink in moderation. See, if you go to there were a lot of times when I was younger, I'll be perfectly honest now, I'd go to a family gathering with my cousins, okay, my aunts and uncles, and I'd down 6 beers real fast, and okay, there's pictures on my computer, my family, the family photo albums. There are pictures on our family photo albums of me at 23, 24, 25, and I'm like this. I'll be staying with one of my cousins, hey, I'm like this. You can tell I'm fucked up. But I'm at a family party with all my cousins and my aunts and uncles, okay? They're not gonna rape me. True, they're not gonna rape me. But when you are in public, understand that bad people are in public. Understand that the rapist is gonna go to the bar for you. The rapist goes to the bar looking for you. Whether he's the rapist that brings you back to the apartment and caresses you into the bed because you're so fucking drunk, or whether he's the rapist that brings you in the back alley and rapes you there. Okay? He's looking for you, Miss Drunk. For you. And the more drunk you are, the faster he finds you. Okay? Keep yourself sober. Keep your fucking eyes open. Pay attention to what goes on. Don't go in cars with guys you don't know. Don't go to apartments with guys you don't know. Don't go behind closed doors with guys you don't know. Don't go to the bathroom with guys you don't know. Okay? And keep one of these on you. And keep pepper spray on you. And keep your fucking mind straight. Wow, Vinny, you're harsh tonight. Hey, I'm telling you the truth. This could have been avoided. Okay, that's the fucking truth. And that's it. That is the truth. And be harsh, okay? Guys, if you have a girlfriend that is shit-faced drunk, okay? She's your friend from high school. She's your friend from work. She's your cousin, okay? Pick her drunk ass up and bring her home, okay? If I'm in a bar and I see a friend of mine from school just absolute shit-faced fucking drunk, okay, I'm going to say, okay, it's time to go home. We're going to go home now. Okay? Put her in the car, drive her to her mother's house, okay? Give her a cup of coffee. Get her home. Okay? If your friend is filling out the drunk survey on Facebook and Instagram, yeah, I did this when I was drunk. Yeah, man, I was fucked up. Okay? Sit down with them and tell them the truth. Tell them they got a problem. Tell them you're an alcoholic. Tell them you need help. You go to counseling. Okay, tell them what's going to happen to them. Tell them you were going to be raped. Now, my friend, she unfriended me after that on MySpace. 3 years later, I saw her at the reunion. She kissed me. We had one conversation. Haven't talked since. She's still mad at me. I don't care. Because you know what? God forbid she ended up getting raped. God forbid she ended up getting murdered. Okay, if I turn on the news and found that she's married now with kids, so it's a little settled down now, but God forbid I turned on the news, or I got the call from a friend of ours that she was found dead in a dumpster somewhere. I would say to myself, listen, Vinny, you told her to get help. Okay? Sometimes you have to be a friend. And being a friend means you have to protect people from themselves. That's a friend, okay? Okay, when you have a friend of yours that is shit-faced drunk, okay, partying, going to apartments with guys, sleeping with guys, okay? And you're silent about it, you are not the friend. You are not a friend, okay? A friend would say, you, problem, help now. That's a friend, okay? I would rather my friends hate me than not tell them the truth, not tell them to get help. That's the truth. If you don't like it, tough shit. This is not the fucking Care Bear channel. Okay, I tell you the truth here. I tell you the truth. No evidence, no conviction. Drunk girl in a bar, easy target. Sober girl, not easy target. 45-minute video here, so thank you, good night.